Good morning, everybody. Time for some Sfas Emes. So excited to share with you some of these ideas, amazing ideas from this week's Parsha, very inspiring about Shabbos. You know, this week, Kitisa is a Parsha where we read the golden calf, and one might think that the material would in some way be a downer. It's not the Jewish people's high point of achievement, right? Worshiping the golden calf. We see, however, that in this Parsha, rather than berate the Jewish people, the Sfas Emes is going to lift us all up in his explanation of some of the ideas in this week's Parsha. We are learning for a Aliyas Neshama, the Schuldenrein family, who were killed, Al Kiddush Hashem, by the Nazis, Yimach Shemam Bezaram. They were murdered in Warsaw. And if you want to sponsor this or any other classes, just be in touch with us, and it can be done in memory of those who are departed, or it can always be done in honor of somebody, a refuah shlema, a healing, or some other thing that somebody wants to, support. And we're learning this Sfas Emes from Taf Reish Lamed Beis. So it says in this Parsha, Ach es Shabsosai Tishmaru, which if you look up a regular translation in Art Scroll or something like that, usually you'll see ach, like you will certainly keep my Sabbaths. But the word ach, we learn in the Talmud that ach, when ach appears, it's to limit something. It's a limit on something. So, for example, if you look in the Torah, when the Jewish people have a conquered Midian, and they have all these vessels that they have acquired from the Midianites, so they can't just use them, right? They're going to have to purge them. And not just that, it says Aches Azahav. And the sage said, what does it mean, Aches Azahav? Doesn't mean why are we limiting the Zahav? Oh no, it means that you have to have the Zahav. In other words, a person, when they want to kasher a vessel, when they want to make something kosher, they have to make sure that there's no chatzitza, that there's no barrier between the water that's going to be used to purge and the vessel itself, right? So if you're going to go to the mikveh today, or you're going to kasher a pot, it has to be clean. It can't have any residue of any material on it, so that the water and the pot touch. So the ach comes as a limit there, that the rust has to be cleared off, or today it would be the stickers from the store have to be, you have a solvent or something to get it off, so that you have a clean surface for the koshering of this vessel. It also says in this week's Parsha, V'chein shamru v'nei Yisrael es Shabbos, the famous line, that again translated conventionally, that the Jewish people vishamru, and they will, or they really, it's usually translated as a command, vishamru, they will keep the Shabbos. So now we're going to look at these two psukim and kind of come up with a different understanding of what Hashem is trying to tell us than the simple conventional meaning, because there's actually a lot of depth here which can't be explained by the simple explanation, because it's not so clear. He says, Umash mirazo shadam shomer haShabbos. Halo adam nishmar b'Shabbos. Says, wait a minute, didn't the Jewish people already get this commandment that we're supposed to guard the Sabbath? right? We got the 10 Commandments, and it says, right, that we're supposed to guard the Sabbath. So when it says here, Vishamru, or it says, Ach es Shabsotai Tishmaru, these two places, how we've already learned that that the Sabbath is supposed to be guarded, i.e., that the things that we learn that the work that we are allowed to do during the work day, the work week, we refrain from doing that on Shabbos. We already know this. So why is the Torah coming to say this again? Right? We know that the Torah never repeats itself for no reason. So it must be coming to teach us something new. Must be coming to teach us something which we didn't learn already about Shabbos. And the Sfas Emes says, and he says, Ach ksiv es Shabsoisai. So one of the lessons he's trying to teach us is that it's not so much a command. V'chol davar sheyesh b'chinas Shabbos ach b'chol. Shmirat Shabbos, guarding the Sabbath, that's one thing that has to do with the Sabbath and about how we observe the Sabbath. But there's a whole nother level of the Sabbath, which is how we guard and look out for the Sabbath during the week. What does that mean? Is that we always have in mind what we're going to do to prepare for Shabbos. That's a form of guarding. And Rabbi Shlomo Besser, the son of Rav Chaskel, Zichron Tzadik Livracha, he gave an analogy. Sometimes a person has a 9-to-5 job, and but in winter, especially in some climates, in some areas, the Shabbos comes in at 3:30, 4 o'clock. How can you have a job that ends at 5? So a lot of what people do is they make it known that they really need to be off by 12 o'clock on Erev Shabbos on Friday. And to make up for it, they're going to work extra time on other days. And a lot of people do this who have 9-to-5 jobs. Or they work, for example, they don't work on the holidays. I'm sorry, they don't take off the holidays, right? So let's say it's a public holiday like Monday, President's Day. But instead of taking it off, they're going to work. And this way they're going to make up all those hours, those 5 hours every week during the winter that they need to take off. So that adds up. That's 8-10 weeks, maybe let's say even 3 months worth of Fridays that they need to take off. So they have to make that up sometime. When are they going to make up that amount of time? They're going to make it up during the other days of the week. They're going to be working extra so that they can take off early. So this is a form of how we guard Shabbos during the weekdays. We guard Shabbos during the weekdays by doing things on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so that we can enjoy the sanctity of the Sabbath. That's a form of guarding. Also, we see there's if you look in the Talmud, the story about the rabbi, right? He sees a good piece of fish, he buys it on a Tuesday, or meat, and then but Thursday he sees a better piece of meat, he buys it. In other words, even when we're doing basic shopping, we have in mind Shabbos, right? When something comes to us, we say, oh, this is for Shabbos. So that is one of the ways that we guard Shabbos during the week. And there's a whole nother idea here, which is that, we usually think that the job of the Jewish people is to guard the Sabbath. And yes, there is a part of our work during the week, to guard the Sabbath. But the Sabbath itself, as we know, also guards the Jewish people. The Sabbath is a shmira for us. It is one of the things which preserves the Jewish people. Okay. So a person who wants to guard the Sabbath, we're learning here that they need to learn how to infuse Shabbos into the weekday as well. Everything has an element of Shabbos even during the weekdays. However, it's hidden, v'nistar, and it's put away during the weekdays. right? When you're working those extra 5 hours during the week, Shabbos is hidden from you. It was Shabbos Miskala, but on Shabbos it's revealed why I did all that extra things during the week. Now I get to enjoy this unbelievable Shabbos. And when something is, and at the time that something is hidden, it needs to be guarded, right? So let's think about something precious, right? You have a precious, let's say you have a bar of gold. You're not just going to keep it on the dining room table, right? You're going to put it in a safe, in a special place. V'hu haratzon achuka shebiyamois hachol shetzarich liyos kol hamaisim rak letzorach Shabbos liyos nachas ruach laHashem Yisbarach. So, if another thought, it's in the Midrash is that Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu that I have a precious gift I'm going to give you. What is the gift? From my storehouse that I'm going to give you, the gift is Shabbos. And he says that it is from my storehouse, my safekeeping, my treasury, the place where I keep all the precious things, and that's the Shabbos, and that's what he's going to give to Moshe. So too, the Shabbos that we experience is something from a very high and special place. It's an incredible gift, and it's something that needs to be guarded. So during the weekday, we have to guard it. We have to make sure and ensure that we can have the Shabbos that we need, right? And so that requires the whole week. It requires attentiveness and mindfulness about the upcoming Shabbos. That attention to Shabbos during the weekday, that's called Shmirat Shabbos. That's called guarding the Sabbath, right? Somebody says to you on a Tuesday, oh, be great to get together, right? What are you doing Saturday at 9:30? I'm sorry, I can't help you there. Saturday 9:30, Shabbos, right? So just there, that you're not making a plan because it's Shabbos, that's also Shmir Shabbos. And that's how we guard the Sabbath. It's like we put it in this special place where we don't want anything to disturb it. What a beautiful idea. Right? And everything can be elevated through the Shabbos, whether it's a small thing or a big thing. And we want to endeavor that all of the things that we do during the week are connected in some way to Shabbos and are elevated to guarding and keeping the Sabbath. Uparashnu aches Shabbosai. What is this aches Shabbosai? What's that mute? What's that limiting? What does that play in? We understand now the guarding Shabbosai. We are guarding the Sabbath for the whole week. We have to think about it and organize around it and plan for it and make extra time to work during the week so that we have time to rest on the Shabbos. But what is this limiting? So to remove the rust, what does that mean? How are you removing the rust? What does that have to do with Shabbos? And he says, Shelo yishe'er rak gufa zahav, that only the pure metal, in this case the gold, will remain. What does that have to do with Shabbos? Kain b'nei Yisrael shemavirim ha'hester v'achulda. So the Jewish people, when they remove the hiddenness, from Shabbos, and they remove the rust. Nimsa kedusha Shabbos b'chol makom. Shabbos, the holiness of Shabbos is revealed in all places. Ladas, Shabbos noisen das la'adam, and on Shabbos a person is given the knowledge ki vadai matana Hashem Yisbarach sh'nasan Shabbos, that it certainly is a gift that Hashem gave to us. K'mo she'amru Chazal, ki vadai, right? Nichlal bazeh sheyichol adam ladas la'asos Shabbos. And it is connected that a person is able to make the Shabbos. So there's an idea in the Gemara, and it's, if you want to look up the Gemara Shabbos, If I want to give you a gift, but I don't tell you about it, is it a gift? Right? I want to do something for somebody, but I keep it totally secret. I don't tell them. So does it have the level of gift, or for something to be a gift, does the person have to know? It's not like they got a gift and it just says anonymous. So then they know it's a gift. But what if they get something and they don't even know that they've gotten it? They don't recognize that they got it. So it's not a gift. Yes, I gave it. But if the other person can't recognize that they got something, so it's not a gift. Perush Yedia, he's kashrus v'dvekis, right? There has to be a knowledge that there is this gift. Ki'im lo haya nichlal b'nesinas Shabbos. So if we didn't recognize that the Shabbos was given as a gift, he's kashrus dvekis, this ability for Shabbos to transform us and the world. And b'nei people in Shabbos imken lo haya nisnad klal. There's so much here. So, first of all, what does it mean, the gift of Shabbos? Shabbos is such a special thing, and in order to appreciate it, one of the ways we need to look at it is as a gift from God. And recognizing that it's a gift helps us to develop our Shabbos. How we perceive something which comes to us is critical to how we relate to it. And this goes to anything, right? If we get something for free, we don't value it. So a gift, usually we say a gift is dependent on a couple of things. One is the perceived value of the gift, but also who the giver of the gift is, right? So if we look at Shabbos as a gift from Rabbi Yonah, that this is a present, this is a gift from the master of the universe. So it helps us to orient ourselves for the incredible preciousness of the Sabbath. It's just a whole orientation of how we have to look at Shabbos. V'shamru b'nei Israel, it's a Shabbos who havtacha gamken sheb'nei Israel yishmru Shabbos. And there's one more point that he wants to bring here, is v'shamru b'nei Israel, that the Jewish people, as like, they have to keep it. One thing, but there's another thing here. V'shamru is also a promise that Hashem is making, that the Jewish people will keep the Shabbos. It's a haftacha, it's a promise that the Jewish people will always keep the Sabbath. How do we know this? V'isa, and it's, you see, ki Moshe Rabbeinu al Shalom machzir Yisrael Shabbos kodesh haktayim shel naseh nishma. One of the things that happened when the Jewish people sinned by the golden calf, we learn that the crown of Naaseh v'Nishma, in other words, when the Jewish people, God asked us if we wanted the Torah, and we said Naaseh v'Nishma, we will do it and then we will understand it. I.e., if it's from God, we're just going to do it. We're not going to question anything. We received, as it were, two crowns, the crowns of Naaseh v'Nishma. But it says that when the Jewish people sinned by the golden calf, those things were removed from us. We lost the crowns of Naaseh v'Nishma. V'nir v'Shabbos lo kilkelu es idei achet. However, on the Shabbos day, Shabbos was not spoiled by the sin of the golden calf. V'lachein Shabbos me'ein olam haba. And Shabbos, we are returned to us, those two crowns, the Naaseh v'Nishma. When a Jew keeps Shabbos, when we keep the Shabbos, we get those crowns back, the crowns of Naaseh v'Nishma, this next level connection to God that we had before the Chet Egel, before the sin of the golden calf, we return to that place before that on Shabbos, when we had those two crowns. But we also say that Shabbos is a taste, of the world to come. Right? So he's bringing forward these other things that, for example, we shouldn't read that by the luchos that they were engraved. Rather, they were. We're gonna. There's so much to get into, and we already reached kind of the pinnacle of our time here together. We have to remember that the not only did the mistake that the Jewish people make at the golden calf not sully the Shabbos, but also if you look back at the beginning of the Torah by Adam Arishon, and it's explained in Gemara Sanhedrin, if you look back at Adam and Chava, who messed up big time in the Garden of Eden, but they didn't mess up the Shabbos. They didn't mess up the Shabbos. So now let's bring it all together here. We have to understand, and we have to internalize this idea that Shabbos is a transformative time. We're able to tap into the connection that the Jewish people had with God before we messed up in the Garden of Eden, before we messed up at the golden calf. Additionally, that Shabbos is a precious gift that Hashem gives to the world. And it is so precious that we have to work the whole week to guard it, to make sure that when Shabbos comes, we can do it in the right way. I want to wish everybody that we should, please God, be blessed to really appreciate the gift of the Shabbos as much as possible. That not only should we guard it on the Sabbath, but that we should guard it all week long, and that Hashem should give us the continued inspiration and insights so that we can elevate our Shabbos higher and higher. And also I want to share one more thing. Unfortunately, not every one of us, of the Jewish people, has experienced the transcendent power of the Shabbos. So I want to give us all a little mission. Let us share the transcendent gift of Shabbos with all of our brethren, and please God, we'll all be able to celebrate the great Shabbos, the redemption of the world,